is official. The Golden State Warriors are 20-4 with Jimmy Butler in the lineup and have made one thing very clear. They are a real threat to win the NBA championship this season, but while Jimmy Butler has been excellent himself, another thing has become obvious. The addition of Jimmy has re-energized Steph Curry in a way that no one saw coming. Prime Steph Curry is back at it again and is capable of bringing the Warriors their 5th title of the Steph Curry era, as against the Lakers he just scored 37 points as Golden State took down LeBron and Luka on the road, and a game before that against the Grizzlies, even more impressively, we watched Steph put up 52 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals as he has become lethal. Before Jimmy was on this team, Steph was averaging 22.7 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 6.1 assists per game this season. Some people were even saying he did not deserve an all-star nod, but with Jimmy Butler on this roster, Steph has averaged 28.2 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game, numbers that are better than what he averaged during his 2015 MVP season, and numbers that are just slightly worse than his 2016 MVP season, which means we need to ask the question here. What exactly has changed with the Warriors, and can this change last? Can it bring them another NBA title? What's up, Mike here, and let's start this off by watching some absolutely crazy clips. But right before we watch these clips, if you do enjoy this content, if you are enjoying this video, please subscribe and turn on post notifications. It helps out a ton, only if you're liking the video. And now let's watch those clips. Here is the Steph Curry effect. To begin this game against the Grizzlies, Draymond gets a wide open 3 off of a handoff to Steph because the defense only cares about Steph. Just a minute later, again, 2 defenders on Steph, Draymond gets the pass and finds Jimmy Butler for a wide open 3. Then, with under 5 minutes left in the first, Quinn and Post sets the screen near half court. Both defenders don't even look at Quinn and Post. They only care about Steph Curry. Can you guess what happens? Yes, a wide open 3, Quinn and Post connects. Meanwhile, still in the first quarter, Jimmy Butler is used to having to create his own offense, but here we have him as the screener in the pick and roll. Steph gets jumped, Jimmy gets the ball and just goes all the way to the basket for an easy dunk. Keep in mind, this is a game where Steph Curry scored 52 points, but his impact goes way beyond the 52 points that he scored on the stat sheet. When Steph is knocking down ridiculous threes, when he is playing in his apex prime mode, everyone on the Warriors benefits significantly. The thing about Steph Curry's reemergence is that in a way, we should have seen this coming. Steph's 52-point game against the Grizzlies was the 10th time he has scored 50 points in his career after the age of 30. That is the most out of anyone in NBA history, as Wilt Chamberlain did it 7 times. Michael Jordan, James Harden, and Damian Lillard are next on that list at 6, and both LeBron and Kevin Durant have 4, giving us one old man stat that LeBron is not winning it. And before Jimmy, Steph was publicly getting fed up with losses.
We're 1-20 when what?
I'm trailing after 3.
And although Steph never said anything specifically in regards to a trade demand other than he did want to stay with the Warriors, it was also very clear that frustration was starting to add up. The front office needed to start making moves fast in order to create a contender for Steph Curry's own version of The Last Dance, and Jimmy Butler has seemingly been the perfect fit here. He has been referred to as a supercharged Andre Iguodala, Iggy of course being a key member of multiple Golden State Warrior championship teams, and we have watched Steph just recently rip off 56 points against the Magic on February 27th, 40 against the Nets on March 6th, and now, to be honest, even if this is Steph Curry, this has been somewhat shocking because it looked like Father Time had finally caught up here. But now, playing on a real contender, everything has changed. And even more importantly, in this video, we are talking about the Warriors' hunt for a championship. And so with that, we need to compare what Steph is doing now to his last championship run in 2022. Because remember, in 2022, it was the Memphis Grizzlies who were supposed to be the new young team to beat. Meanwhile, the Warriors already were seen as on their way out. The Grizzlies finished 2022 as the 2nd seed in the West, and Ja Morant averaged 27.4 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 6.7 assists per game. In 2022, Ja finished 7th in the MVP voting and was 2nd team All-NBA. Ja was also only just just 22 years old. This was before all of the off-court drama that has now dragged Ja Morant down seemingly. However, in these playoffs, the Grizzlies in the second round were matched up against the number 3 seed, the Golden State Warriors, and Golden State's championship experience shone through. Quick side note we need to talk about. In the first 3 games of this series, the Warriors did take a 2-1 lead. Ja Morant, though, by himself, averaged 38.3 points and 8.3 assists per game. But here is where things get even more interesting for the Golden State Warriors, because in the 2022 playoffs, Steph Curry was simply a megastar, which we're about to get into. But to end the 2022 season, in his last 22 games, the same amount of games that Steph has played with Jimmy Butler on this roster, Steph averaged 24 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 6.5 assists per game to end this season. Those were solid stats, but they were not prime Steph Curry numbers, and they were not as good as the stats that Steph is currently putting up to end this season, aka Steph is on a true heater, and going into the playoffs, can we expect even more? This is incredibly promising for Golden State, because in those 2022 playoffs, Steph Curry would become the megastar we just mentioned. But before we continue, I am very excited to say that this video is sponsored by NBA Top Shot. And as a Top Shot collector myself, I love the fact that NBA Top Shot allows you to collect top moments from NBA history. From LeBron's legendary finals block, which is going for 5 figures, to Anthony Edwards' first career bucket, the NBA's most important memories and legacy-defining moments exist on Top Shot. To me, the best part is that every top moment is limited edition and officially licensed by the NBA, which means that Top Shot truly is the future of basketball collectibles. You don't need to grade your cards or risk shipping them out, because Top Shot is fully digital and you are buying collectibles that have true scarcity from a global marketplace that operates 24/7. For instance, there are under 5,000 Wemby rookie cards, and his one-of-one moment sold for $145,000 last year. Top Shot also is your ticket to insane prizes. Use your collection to field lineups and make picks like fantasy sports. Prizes this season have included courtside seats at big games, meet and greets with legends such as Gary Payton and Joakim Noah, and even a brand new Kia. Top Shot is doing it big, and if you're new, there is no better time to jump in. Through my link, Top Shot is giving out a free pack to all new collectors, guaranteeing you a collectible from an NBA star. NBA Top Shot is a community of the game's most passionate fans from all over the world. Click my link and claim your free pack and see why NBA fans worldwide are obsessed with this product. Make sure to click that link. Thank you to NBA Top Shot for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back into the video. He would average 27.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game in the playoffs, but then in the finals against Boston, he was even better, averaging 31.2 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists per game in a 6-game series win that included a Game 4 masterclass. Headed into Game 4, the Warriors were down 2-1 in this series. They needed to win Game 4. Steph, of course, came through, scoring 43 points with 10 rebounds while shooting 14 for 26 from the floor. Meanwhile, the rest of the Warriors shot just 26 for 65, aka the rest of the team shot 40%. In this game, Steph Curry swung the finals to the Warriors' favor, but really, after the Warriors did not lose again and took this championship, this was the series that started the who is better argument, Steph Curry or Magic Johnson for best point guard of all time. And now, Steph has a chance to do something even more interesting in this year's playoffs, because he and a man by the name of LeBron James just so happened to both have 4 championships for their career. Steph has a chance to win another. He has a chance to finish his career with more titles than LeBron James, which is not a statement of hate towards LeBron, but no matter how you slice this, we would have to agree that Steph Curry winning 5 titles in the same era as LeBron James, while never changing teams, while going through several different iterations of a different roster, would be incredibly meaningful for his all-time legacy. To many, Steph winning a championship here would make him the greatest point guard of all time. In terms of a top 5 player of all time, top 10, I'm curious what you think down below. But here is the question. What does Golden State need to do to get the job done here and win the whole thing win the championship? Well, one man is certainly the X factor here, but before we get into that X factor, let's talk about a few other role players. Pods is playing better than we have ever seen him play before. Steph Curry was a true superstar in the 2022 playoffs, that is for certain. But no one in the NBA wins without any help, even Michael Jordan, and 3 players for the Warriors in that playoff run also averaged over 10 points per game. Klay Thompson averaged 19, Jordan Poole averaged 17, Andrew Wiggins put up 16.5. On any given night, one of those 3 players was able to step up and give Steph Curry a big-time scoring option. Jimmy Butler for this Golden State Warriors team changes a lot because now, unlike in 2022 when Klay Thompson was somewhat on the decline, Jimmy is going to give the Warriors a big-time secondary scoring option, which means when one of their role players steps up in a meaningful way, it is going to be very hard to beat this team. And looking at the Warriors' current roster, Pods has been an absolute beast. We cannot sleep on what he is doing. The Warriors have made it very clear that Pods is not a trade piece, he is a building block for them. However, to begin the season, before Jimmy Butler joined this team, Pods was averaging just 9.4 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.4 assists per game on 32.7% shooting from deep. Since Jimmy has joined this team though, those numbers have exploded up to 14.4 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, and 3.4 assists on 40.7% shooting from 3, a noticeable upgrade. When both Steph and Jimmy are on the court, it creates a lot of problems for defenses, and guys like Pods are able to step up. And yes, Pods is getting more open looks because of these 2 players, but more importantly perhaps, he is able to isolate himself and score himself as the primary ball handler. This could be absolutely key during the playoffs because having a third player that's able to create his own shot on the offensive end just makes the Warriors that much more difficult to guard. On the defensive end, teams have to deal with picks, back screens, cuts, dribble handoffs. This Warriors offense is free flowing, it's moving, it is hard to keep track of everyone, and if someone like Pods is delivering at a high rate, it makes Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler's job that much easier. The same can easily be said about Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga has now scored 15 or more points in his last 6 games. He is easily one of the biggest wild cards, I would say, in the entire NBA, because playing with Golden State, there has essentially been a limit to the amount of shots Kuminga has been able to take, and he has also had a limit to his playing time, but per 36 minutes, Jonathan Kuminga is averaging 23 points per game, which is massive. That is what Golden State is going to need if they are going to secure a championship. Steph needs to be the superstar, Jimmy Butler needs to be the ultimate second option, but then guys like Pods or Kuminga need to step up and give them third scoring options on nights where Steph or Jimmy are not playing the best they possibly can. And looking at this roster, the Warriors certainly do have scoring options. Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, Quinn Post. The scoring is there, so really the X factor is going to be everyone's favorite player, Draymond Green. Now at this point in time, I don't even know if we could say love him or hate him. Draymond is very impactful because it feels like most people just hate him. Draymond is certainly living in a villain arc or just lifestyle, but we have to admit, even if you dislike him, Draymond's impact on the defensive end cannot be denied. Let's watch this play versus the Lakers where he seals the game.
6-point game, here comes Doncic. Butler in the way, Luka down the lane, wheels, trip to the ball. Butler with the defense, here comes Curry, foul.
Give him the trophy already.
Remember, in 2022, the Warriors did not have a true center to count on, and Draymond played out of his mind on defense as an undersized center. Without him, they do not win the championship. Draymond logged 32% of his playoff minutes at the 5 spot. He held his own there, and in the 2025 season, he is now currently the favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. But we also have to remember here, Steph and Draymond's on-court chemistry is unmatched. Jimmy, as a perimeter defender, especially in the playoffs, tries to lock players down as much as possible. He is an absolute menace. Steph is an all-time scorer. He's playing at an all-time rate. Really, if Draymond is able to give the defensive impact that we have seen him give in the past, if he plays like the Defensive Player of the Year in the playoffs, well, Golden State is going to have a real chance to win this thing. The NBA playoffs this year are filled with unproven teams at the top. The Thunder have been been an absolute unit. I am not disrespecting them at all. They have been incredible. The thing is, it's a story as old as time in the NBA. Sometimes, even if you are the best team in the regular season, if you are a young, unproven roster that does not have that championship experience, the veteran-led team with championship experience can take you down. The Warriors have all of the playoff experience in the world. Steph Curry is playing better than ever. I don't think it would shock anyone if they were able to do it again and win Steph his 5th ring. But I want to know, what do you think down below? And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Only if you like the video, only if you like the content, but it would mean a ton. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.